Welcome to the Filmsteins, the podcast where we discuss all things movies. Join us as we dive deep into the latest releases, revisit classic films, and explore the art of cinema. Whether you're a film fanatic or just love a good flick, we've got you covered. From Hollywood blockbusters to indie gems, we'll be breaking down the storytelling, cinematography, and everything in between. So grab some popcorn, sit back, and get ready for some cinematic magic. If you like what you hear, please consider subscribing to our Patreon at patreon.com/filmsteins. We offer tiers at the $1, $5, and $20 level, where the $20 tier grants the ability to request films for future episodes. This is the Filmsteins, where movies are more than just entertainment, they're an experience. And welcome back to the Filmsteins, the fastest growing podcasts in Antarctica. Just kidding, they don't get anything that has anything to do with internet down there. But we are the fastest growing podcast in the world, collectively. So give a round of applause. Thank you. We have our second doozy of a fan-requested feature film, this time with Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Of course, as promised, you can join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for a new episode, ranging anything in between To Kill a Mockingbird, The Evil Dead Rise, and now Guardians. And I'm joined today, as always, by my egotistical friend,
wow,
Lucy. And that's kind of funny, right? I can't use that really anywhere else.
I guess it's better than what you called me last time. What'd you call me last time?
I think I just called you a space cowboy.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
This one just rolled right out. How about egomaniac? You like that one better?
No, but I'll take it.
How about egological?
I like that one better.
All right.
We'll go with
Egological.
All right.
It's the study of the ego.
I'll study the ego.
We are all studiers of the ego, aren't we? Until we dispose of it. I guess that's the Buddhist goal, right?
To dispose of your ego?
Yeah.
Or other people's
To dispose
egos?
of your own ego and kind of reclaim your collective identity with the universe or your environment.
All right. Ego-logical it is.
We just finished 2017's Guardians of the Galaxy 2, directed by James Gunn. Thank God that it's not someone else that's, trying to pick up his first film, like Iron Man 2 to 3 or Thor from 2 to 3 as well, I think. I think the first guy got displaced by Taika Waititi. And
Who?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. He's actually relatively famous. He did the Wildebeest, where the wildebeest live. Or is that what it's called? Or How to Find the Wildebeest? I can't remember the name of the movie. With Ricky Baker. That's a Taika Waititi film. That's his best film, probably. That and Boy. Both filmed in New Zealand.
The Ricky Baker one? I thought you were talking about what's that weird one with all the monsters and the little boy? And it's like a really famous book. A really famous children's book.
Oh.
It's like his imagination or something.
Where the Wild Ones Are? I think that's what that's called. Yeah. Well, that's him trying to deal with his parents divorcing. That's his trauma. It's kind of...
Yeah, but that's not what you're talking about.
No, we're talking about the Ricky Baker movie.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that Where the Wild Ones Live or something like that. That's what that one's called. Yeah, that's a famous child's book, illustrated book. Yeah, where...
So the book is Where the Wild Things Are.
Where the Wild Things Are.
And then the other one's Hunt for the Wilder People.
Okay, Hunt for the Wilder People. Okay. Both great films.
I just looked up Ricky Baker movie.
Yeah. That's probably the best little snippet trailer that has ever popped up on Netflix. It's that scene. That's basically it.
Yeah.
Because most Netflix trailers, they're like cliff notes of the whole movie. And you're like, all right, it's a 4-minute trailer. I'm good. I spent a nice beginning to end. I think I get it. Netflix is really terrible about that, aren't they?
Yeah, and their little descriptors when your TV goes to sleep.
Yeah, it's like the screensaver of Netflix.
Yeah, and it's just got I can't think of them
They're totally hysterical
right now, but
they're
irreverent or whatever that word is they like to use. It's like, what?
they use irreverent a lot. That is kind of a buzzy descriptor of so many things because everything's self-aware and makes fun of itself and
Unami or whatever that word is.
for eating stuff.
Yeah, for eating stuff.
Yeah. It's
Uwami-
the irreverent is the
unami.
usami. What's that word? Umami.
Umami?
Umami. I think that's the word.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are talking about from what I can tell, it's not as loved as the first film. This film, the second film, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Volume 2. But I'm not really sure. It may just be kind of on the same level. Not really sure, but I will say that Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is by almost every measure a much better movie than Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
Yeah. So I have also heard, kind of like reading reviews of people saying, it's not as good as the first one, but, and then they name off reasons on why it's good. Or, well, I know everyone says it's not as good, but I haven't really read a review that
why it's not as good.
That's
funny.
Or
yeah.
even Wiki said, yeah, it was like the critical response and how it was, not as fresh as the first one, or I don't know what it was trying to say. But again, nothing, no facts here or no backup examples on why. I'm just hearing, oh, it's not, but no one's saying why. And even the opposite of people saying it's not as good, but,
this is why it's good.
This is why this one's good, though. And then they named this one and why this one's good. So I don't know. It was a bit confusing. Yeah, I don't know if I could compare the two. I feel like the first one was, like all really first superhero movies or non-superhero movies. It's an origin story. And this one's kind of different because it's not an individual's origin story. It's a group of people's origin story. So
it's the group's origin story.
Yeah, the group's origin story. I don't know. So I guess like I can't compare a group's next big movie versus like an individual's next big movie, I don't know.
No, it's hard to because you have an ensemble versus the X superhero's next, challenge. And here we're dealing with the dynamic. We're still like the core of the movie is dealing with the dynamic of the ensemble and them loving each other. And it's kind of perfect. The only real challenge that could be introduced here, other than their space cowboy outlaw kind of contracts that they get here and there that we saw in the first 5 minutes of them killing that octopus dude thing, space octopus dude, is what if we challenge this ensemble, the group of misfits who have kind of found family with each other, by introducing a blood relative to one of them and seeing what kind of madness that can pull out of them. And it's just like, goddamn, I don't know if I wouldn't call this movie genius or anything. And as far as like dramas go, but I don't think anything so smart has ever been done in the MCU. Again, I'm not completely caught up, but it seems like everything post Thanos is pretty bad according to the internet. But internet's the internet's the internet.
Yeah.
So I don't. It's hard to say. Black Widow did look terrible. I saw the trailer and it looked pretty horrendous. So if that's any litmus test.
Yeah, that's a good point because all these, misfits have pretty much lost their families. Gamora has Thanos, and, we just killed her brother, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he was the brother, but he seemed like it.
I think
he called him boy. That's what a dad does sometimes, right?
I think Nebula called him brother.
Okay.
And they're sisters.
But I know they're not like...
Yeah, they're not blood related or whatever.
Yeah,
they're all
so
adopted.
Like, so I'm just a little confusing on that, I know, because like, are they...
Because Thanos is kidnapping babies, so...
Yeah.
And then we have, Drax, who lost his daughter and wife, and then...
and planet.
Oh shit, yeah, and his whole entire planet. That's even worse, actually.
Yeah, a little bit.
Damn, can you imagine that? Losing your planet? That's crazy. I can't even begin to comprehend. I can't imagine even losing, like, my neighborhood or something. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, that's next level house burning down shit.
And then, you have Rocket,
who's one of a kind,
who's one of a kind.
genetically modified.
So, no fucking parents there. You weren't even conceived in any way.
And who knows what the fuck Groot is.
Yeah, who knows what Groot is. And then we have Quill.
Yeah, for all we know, Groot and Rocket may have escaped together or something.
Yeah.
In some kind of lab. And I mean, I don't know. That's I don't know. But no doubt a group of misfits, and we're now challenged, or our cast is now challenged with this player who's kind of been in Peter's life all along in some way or another.
Yeah, not only is that his dad, his biological dad, but it's also, kind of what they call him, a celestial god figure, whatever. I mean, he's got powers, and now Quill has powers that he didn't know he had, and that's kind of cooler than just meeting your regular dad and finding out you're immortal, or you were immortal. I wasn't sure there what happened, because I guess if the planet got destroyed, he said you will be like everyone else, but I mean, what does that mean?
He's just gonna be mortal because he's only half whatever that is.
Yeah.
And as far as we know, he all of what he said was a lie, and he was just gonna leech off of what Peter's energy and stuff, and to sustain his life. That's all you can really gather, I think, from him, because he kind of loses a lot of his trust, and after we see all the bones and shit, and his just like whole ambitious plan, and his whole, like, I guess, motivation to enact some kind of genocide. It's hard to believe anything that he has to say to Peter, because how does Peter fit into that, really,
That's true.
So he's lying, no doubt, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because, like, if he had all these children with all these repulsive people, including humans being one of the repulsive people, like, he fell in love with this one human that they actually made a baby that retained some of his god power. It's like, no, I doubt it. I bet you if Peter did, obviously he was able to control some of that.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to bet that most of civilization, or most of the different races of people and creatures, also retained some of that power, and then he just leached off of it. And then that's where we see the bodies, or the skeletons.
Yeah, I don't know, because you bring a good point there. Did he love Star-Lord's mom? What's her name? Monica, Melissa? I don't know. Start with them. Meredith, I think that was her name. Meredith. Did he love her? And then the whole thing with the song, how you don't fall in love with a girl, you fall in love with the sea, or whatever that song was trying to say. And obviously he was in love with his plan more than he was in love with her. But then he said that thing about, well, if I would have gone back to Earth a fourth time,
he would have stayed.
I would have stayed.
Which is good manipulation.
So, would you have stayed? Yeah, I mean, I believed him.
I didn't fucking believe him.
I did.
Get the fuck out of here.
I was like, oh, you would have stayed?
That motherfucker wouldn't have stayed. They always say they're going to stay and come back. They don't come back. I did like his little introduction of him being on the, like, weird spaceship, weird pill-like spaceship. He's riding it like a space cowboy. I think that was cool. And when he killed all the gold guys, I guess the gold ships, none of them are in there because they're all cowards and they don't fly their own ships.
Yeah, I thought that was weird. I was like, who does this guy think he is, riding around like that? That's dangerous.
That's funny. That's a lot of personality. It is dangerous as fuck. But then again, it would be for a normal person, someone who wasn't, just a ball of energy that could control anything.
Yeah, it's like people who ride, bicycles with no helmets, or people who ride bikes with while not holding on to the handlebars. Like, just stop. Stop showing off. Get your safety, get back in there.
Yeah. What do you think of the gold people, though? the whole gold person interaction. I know you like that beginning part though, right? Well, I
Yeah.
guess we'll start there. That intro, the rolling credits, the rolling intro credit kind of things with the Groot dancing around the big octopus dude.
Yeah, I mean, I was excited that they, have a big monster, the big octopus looking thing. That was cool. And then we have Groot dancing, baby Groot dancing while they're trying to fight the monster. And I don't know how I felt about that. Groot's cute and all.
He's overrated. They do kind of force him onto you, but he is cute.
I don't mind the cuteness. I don't mind baby Groot. If they did a baby Groot movie, I'd probably watch it because, I'm still a child at heart. But not here. I wanted the big octopus. I didn't want baby Groot dancing all over the place. As cute as it was, that's not what I wanted.
Yeah, I would say I want it too, but Marvel just shows they don't really know how to make action sequences.
Yeah. Although, that is one of my favorite parts when Drax
that was awesome.
Fucking jumps in the octopus's mouth.
That was awesome, I will say. And then when Gamora cuts the belly and he pops out, that's awesome stuff. But like the back and forth, I hit you, you hit me kind of thing, it's terrible.
It's gotta be so fucking creative. Like towards the end when Rocket has those cool little whatever those are, magnets.
And then same thing with Peter even fighting his dad.
Yeah.
Because I know that's kind of Superman-esque and like just traditional superhero kind of fighting, but it was earned.
But they had fun with it at that end scene. I was surprised how good it was.
Yeah.
So I guess, if you were not able to give me that throughout your fighting scene, then give me Baby Groot.
Yeah.
So.
And I feel like it was irresistible having an intro like that because, they're a working team now. They have these contracts there. So we kind of set the mood for that. And then, of course, we got to start it off with Groot because he's all the rage. And, we got to get those intro credits in. And this is a good way to kind of meld it all together, I think. So I liked it. I really liked Drax jumping in there. And
that was awesome.
That didn't look stupid.
Yeah.
It was fun. He was like, the skin's too thick, and
from the outside.
We knew what he meant. He's got softer tissue on the inside, but they were
I got him. Yeah.
They were like, it's the same thickness. What?
No. You didn't understand.
Yeah,
him.
his vitals are on the inside. That's just how,
Exactly.
it's just shut up, you guys. He knows what he's talking about. And then he thinks he kills him, which is awesome. It's a great intro. And then, but I will say at the very beginning there, and we go into the gold people after this, and this, I guess, is part of the problem I have with the first, 20 or so minutes of it. And we start laying on the jokes thick in the very beginning. Every other line is a joke, if not every line, for probably a solid 15 minutes is jokes. And that is beyond stupid. It's
Yeah, agreed.
And especially when he's talking to the gold queen, I know like the whole major theme here, which is probably mostly not a concept in most of the MCU, is like a theme that is core to what everything happens into the movie, for everything that happens in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And that they're talking about, just sex, and it's like kind of raunchy, and I don't like it from one. I guess I don't like it because Peter, he's not really a raunchy character, but he's kind of raunchy in this little 15-second bit that they're doing with the gold lady. But it's kind of funny because they're like, whatever. We don't know anything about them, so I guess it's really not that funny actually. But they supposedly create people perfectly and exactly how they want and everything, yada yada yada. And then they're talking about like procreating basically, and so it's like trying to start this whole movie of what is a family and everything to do with family and where family even comes from, and it's just a little too stupid. That whole interaction's just a little too stupid for me. But I guess I can't ignore that it does kind of fit thematically with the rest of the movie. It's kind of hard to ignore, which I can't help but appreciate on some level.
Yeah, I guess at least they stick with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had an issue with just the golden people in general.
They were a weird kind of MacGuffin going on here. I didn't like the batteries, I guess, were the actual MacGuffin in a couple situations, and I'm just I like that he stole the batteries and stuff, but I didn't like the gold people showing up. But they were also taken out pretty quick. So it's like
Yeah, and then, I mean, I guess the whole point to them in the beginning was they needed Nebula back. Or Gamora wanted Nebula back. And we also had to give Rocket his,
His haha.
his haha by stealing the batteries, which I loved.
Yeah.
I thought that was
and then with
fucking
him
awesome.
and Drax starts laughing.
Yeah.
Drax laughs a lot in this, which is great. I hope he laughs a lot in the next one too.
But then, okay, you got Nebula, you got destroyed, fairly quickly, but you come back. I don't know. It was a little weird.
Yeah.
And then especially when they do come back, it's towards the end when they're already fighting one dude.
Yeah. I don't like that they. I mean, maybe it's said. I'm trying to think about it, but I don't like that they just appear. Like, how do they know? Do we know?
Doesn't that guy, Taserface, manage to tell her before?
Yondu kills them all.
Yeah, I think I know he talks to her, and I think he tells her where they're going.
Does everybody just know where Ego is?
Wait, didn't someone say they put a tracker? No, that was before. That was before. Yeah, I guess everyone knows where that planet is at least, or he is, because he is the planet.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't. Yeah, the gold people are the source part of this movie, I think, and fortunately they don't show up much. They're taken out pretty quick. They're just kind of stupid little things, and I guess doesn't the gold queen hire Taserface? Like, she walks out on that thing.
Yeah, she hires him to bring back her batteries, right?
Yeah. So I guess it's just kind of easy to track people here. Is that what I'm getting?
I mean, that makes sense.
I mean, I guess if I just gotta take that, it's how it is. It's all right. Not a huge deal.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but I guess everything up to the point where they land and meet Ego, there's just a little too much ha-has happening in between all the characters, and I'm not a fan of it. And I think it ends with Nebula. I think it ends with Nebula eating or taking a bite of that thing, and she's like, "It's not ripe."
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my god. And I think that's the end of that, though. That's kind of wraps it up, and that's probably 30 minutes in, I would say. I'm not too sure, but yeah, when she's, you know what point I'm talking about?
Yeah, when basically Groot let her loose to go save Rocket, and she kind of saved Rocket. But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's too much, and it's just nonsense. It's kind of funny that Drax said he kicked it away and said it's not ripe. That's kind of funny, but I didn't want it to be a whole setup. Her saying she was hungry to Gamora, Drax kicking away the vegetable thing, and then her taking a bite and be like, it's not ripe. No, it's fucking stupid, and I hate it. Get it away from me.
I think some of these jokes would have landed better if they wouldn't have said anything. It's like in some of the dialogue, they explain the joke to us, and it would have been funnier not to say it at all. Like if she would have taken a bite and kind of just made like a quick disgust face and then spit it out.
Yeah.
And that's it. Not say anything.
Yeah.
Like I would have liked that a lot better than her saying it. And I got a lot of that with Ego. Like when he was talking, I guess his, heart to heart with Peter. And I don't remember any specifics, I guess. I didn't write them down or anything, but there were just some parts where he was just kind of overstating. Like, okay, we got it. We got what you meant by that. You didn't have to
not the jokes. I thought you were about to say some jokes. I was like, I don't remember him joking too much.
No, not jokes.
No, Ego, and this is probably my actual biggest problem with the movie, direction and the production of the whole deal, because the gold people are they're just this little thing that's supposed to make you go ha ha, or maybe it's for the kids out there, I'm not sure, and then we get these stupid little jokes for a little bit, and they tame it down, thank God. But then we have this massive directorial problem where you have this character explaining to such a degree that it just screams the audience is not going to understand this unless we say X, Y, and Z.
Right.
It's just like, are you fucking, no, like, come on. Like, this is actually sort of weird and interesting. You've got a thing going on. Like, they should have positioned it in such a way where, Like, I thought we were playing that up. I thought we were going to go in that direction, but no, everyone just fucking understood. I guess people just are not. Maybe we're missing that in the MCU or just the Guardians movies where everyone just knows everything. Like, nothing's fucking weird. Because I thought Gamora was kind of weirded out in that there's no way this guy's a planet. But she was weirded out then in the sense that, we can't trust this guy. That's all.
Yeah.
And it would have been cool if we got Ego explaining his thing in such a way, but we got a whole fucking holographic simulation of the deal of what happened. It's just like, okay, well, I feel like it can't be so literal, right? Or at least your characters should be thinking that. But we should have never saw that little holographic thing, and we should have been told the story in such a way that the characters find out and they're like, what the fuck? He's actually a planet.
Yeah.
That could have been a big, it wouldn't have been funny, but it would have been a kind of cool moment. But I guess, is that mansplaining? I'm not sure what mansplaining is by definition, but it's like, it makes me feel like they don't think the audience is smart enough to get it.
Yeah, that's kind of what mansplaining is when you have to explain something that's kind of obvious.
So maybe this isn't mansplaining, because he should have positioned, I guess it was mansplaining, I'm not sure, but the dialogue should have been in such a way that it didn't make, there's no fucking way, that didn't make, no way, It should have been kind of confusing, the dialogue should have been, and then it should have been a kind of a big reveal, I feel like.
I mean, yeah.
But it was so literal.
He took characters.
It didn't seem quite like that,
Yeah.
did it? But he took us through a fucking museum of his whole plan. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Ego, you're a cool character. You're a planet. You are interested in genocide. That's not a lot of bad guys. You're not really a bad guy per se, right? You're not doing things for evil and stuff. I guess he is it's kind of a racist thing, isn't it? Because he's disgusted by other life.
Yeah.
And so it's like a deep racism, which is very cool. And I wish we could have played that up a little bit more and had some kind of reveal to his character. But I guess if you already knew who Ego is, there's no reveal. So maybe they're trying to meet people halfway too. So I'm not sure. That was a little disappointing. That's my biggest problem with the core of the movie is that exactly. I'm glad you bring that up.
Yeah, it just didn't flow. It just wasn't, I don't want to use the word consistent here, but
No, yeah, I think so. I think you're right. Consistent. The tone was off there.
Yeah. It was just weird. And that sucks because this is not a Star-Lord movie. This is not Peter finding his dad and then his friends are surrounding him. No, it's still a Guardians movie. But this is kind of the point of this movie. And it gets a little fucked up.
Christopher Nolan gets accused of having characters in his movies that are kind of like Ego, where they will just explain the whole movie to you. And supposedly, you never know because, no one's talking to Christopher Nolan one-on-one, shooting the shit. He's being interviewed by fucking schmucks and they're trying to get something out of him, so it's all PR nonsense, right? But they say that that's kind of a producer's call, that these producers they're trying to meet the audience kind of halfway so they can be a little bit more entertained and not be challenged as much. But Christopher Nolan doesn't want to include a lot of those characters. So it just kind of makes me think of that.
Wait, so he over-explains to his audience, or he doesn't?
He'll have a specific character that will be the explainer. You see what I'm saying?
Kind of.
Like, there'll literally be a character in his movies who asks questions to people throughout the movie, or they will just be like, something happens, and then they'll tell you exactly what happened, even though if you connect some dots, you should be able to kind of come to that point. Whether it takes a viewing or two, it's, you still can get there, but they have this specific character who will just tell you. It's just like, it makes the audience, it makes certain people who are paying attention feel retarded, because like, or like they're just not, or like they're
it's condescending.
Yeah, and so Christopher Nolan kind of gets the slack
belittling,
in that, because he's the guy. The buck stops with the director, I would say, and unfortunately, in some cases, and in his case, it does, because he's a smarter director than his movies even lead on, I think. Even though he makes questionable decisions with audio and storytelling, but not characters. I think his characters are fine. I think he makes really weird and surrealistic characters, which is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it kind of just reminds me of that on the exact same level, maybe even worse, because we get a museum style.
We get visual
lecture of it. Yeah, it's just like, what is going on here? It's totally, I think people say that kind of, they'll say it's uneven in tone or something like that. People like to whip out that word, uneven. And it's totally inconsistent, yeah, with the rest of the story and everything else that happened every fucking where. I hate that. I hate that kind of stuff.
It kind of reminds me of Eragon, and, kind of like Saphira did that for us.
Did she?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there were times where she didn't need to say what she said, but...
Did she didn't in the book, obviously, right?
No, because I guess in the book, her and Eragon share a mind.
Yeah.
They can read each other's mind. They can read each other's thoughts. No one has to say anything, really. And, and the author can get away with saying,
once he tells you that's a thing.
Yeah, like in the movie, when we just found out Brahm is a dragon rider and he's got that scar on his palm, and then here's Saphira saying, "Oh, he's a dragon rider," and Eragon's like, "No, Saphira, we got it.
We were paying attention.
We were paying attention. We knew. We were suspicious when he used the word Brazinger." But then again, I get that they had to find some way to tell us that her and Eragon are connected somehow, but that wasn't necessary. So, but I guess it's better than, having a museum.
Yeah, I don't know about better.
Explain it.
On the same page, I think.
Yeah.
Really, it's just so unfortunate that they feel the need to. It's not even an over-explain, but it's just to. I don't know. It's like you want a less is more kind of thing. Let the imagination kind of ride.
Or let us have the, aha moment. Like, let us guess it. I guess that's why, whodunits are kind of popular, because people like guessing it. People like being right, It
makes them feel smart.
Yeah, it makes them feel smart. And it makes you feel like you are paying attention and you are engaged. Like here, when the dad says something about, Yondu, I had Yondu gather all the little kids for me or something. And, that was a big moment for me, like that. And I was like, oh my God, Yondu kept him safe. Like, he wasn't trying to hurt him. And, it tugged at you. It got me in the feels. It made me, if I wasn't going to cry at the end here with what happens to Yondu, that definitely, me figuring that out and me having that, in my mind, definitely pushed on the emotions there. So come on. How do you not want your audience to experience that multiple times throughout your film?
Yeah, you can't really force the emotion. You gotta just let it be in the audience's hand, and if they connect the dots, which they will. I guess they maybe thought that because the whole father thing was at the crux of this film, they maybe thought that was going to be a little more obvious than the ego thing, but it's not. It's none of this is that complicated. We're not. It's just pay attention, and then the ego thing can be a big reveal that you're like he's kind of telling you, yeah, he's a planet, he's this thing of energy or whatever, and you can kind of manipulate space and time and yada yada. It's just like, okay, I feel like that's weird. Maybe just because I'm not in tune with the Marvel world, that feels different. That doesn't feel. Someone saying they're a god here, it's like, okay, Thor and Odin are kind of gods, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm not. I don't. So it's just you can kind of, I don't know, they can kind of beat around the bush, I guess, and then these characters can be like, what the fuck? You know, because Peter can maybe be the character on the end. He's like, you know, because his dad's teaching him that he can use these abilities, and you're just like, what the fuck? You know, what is going on? And I don't know, it's just definitely can make your audience feel like
It's almost like they tried to explain it too much that they kind of confused you, you know, because he said that. He's like, you know, I am the planet, or however he said it.
Yeah.
And then we have, you know, a few minutes later with Gamora, I guess she's, you know, she's upset, she's mad, and she takes her sword and like slices a flower. And I'm like, oh, is that gonna hurt him? Because I'm over here thinking this dude's a planet, and it didn't hurt him, and then it doesn't get brought back up until later on. We see kind of a face on the side of the planet. You're like, wait, so is he a planet? Like, what? And then I think at one point we were like, so is he killing people? Is he trying to reproduce? What is this guy trying to do here? So I don't know. Maybe it was a little bit too much explaining.
Yeah, I will say the CG in this film starts to decline like the rest, like a lot of the later MCU films. I don't know what happens there. Things start to lose their definition. Everything's kind of colorful, and nothing has any kind of defining, grounded reality. It's just a blob of just CG nonsense, and that does work on some level in this film, I think, because the world is mostly artificial and kind of built to Ego's idea of what a world should look like, and so it kind of fits the shitty CG, where we have this very artificial looking, you know, structure castle thing he's in. And I do kind of like the fish thing that he has out front. It's very whimsy and weird, and it kind of works here with me, but things really start to look bad, especially when we, you know, are in space. And I think that was a problem I had in the first film too, right?
Yeah.
And
you didn't like the space.
I know space stuff is just hard to pull off because we can't really simulate spacey physics on Earth, and it really affects the end there with Yondu and Peter. When Yondu saves Peter, he flies him out to outer space to get off the planet, and it just looks so bad. It looks so bad, and it's in a really emotional part, and I hate it for anyone who's invested in the director because it looks terrible. I can't believe how bad the space travel looks, including ships too. Things just moving in outer space away from a rock without any kind of point of reference just sucks.
Yeah, that whole Yondu Peter scene felt off to me, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it, so I wonder if that's what it was, that it just, you know, space just looked bad. Because I was thinking maybe it was because we didn't have, you know, an emotional scene with them. We never had this heart to heart. We never had anything kind of like that with them. So I thought maybe that's what it was. It felt a little maybe forced, I guess. Peter just realized that this dude cares about him. But this dude, you know, like my boy Rocket, they're emotionally retarded. They don't know how to express in words how they feel. So they say shit like, I'm glad we didn't eat you, you know, instead of I love you, or I was always looking out for you, you know. And then you have your, you know, Star-Lord's, you said it in the beginning, he's not this raunchy dude. He's a vulnerable ass person.
He's a man-child.
He's a man-child. He wants the hug and the I love yous and the whatnots. And, you know, we get a little bit of that from what he wants from Gamora. You know, he wants her to say that there is something here because he feels it. He knows it. He wants it to be said. So I thought maybe that was what was missing here, that, you know, Yondu's emotionally stunted and,
yeah,
you know, but I don't know. I wonder if
could have been the presentation.
Could have been the presentation.
Because we as the audience, we had that moment though with Yondu, and Peter without them being there when we found out,
Right.
So we already had that. Peter didn't have that, but we did. So it should have been a moment where you got kind of a home run out of you, and it does and it doesn't, because I think it might have something to do with how it looks, because it looks. I cannot overstate it. I'm sorry. It looks terrible.
Because when Yondu grabbed his face, and kind of like this tender moment, it didn't feel tender. But then when we got a really close-in shot of Quill or Peter trying to, I guess his name is Peter Quill, of him trying to grab the little button thingy that would protect him, I think. I don't know. We got a zoom-in shot of him like just grabbing something to help Yondu and save him.
Yeah, that thing like insulates him. So
that made me made my heart feel some sort of way more than Yondu grabbing him on the face. And I wonder if it was that. I wonder if, because one was a close-up shot to that, and the other was.
Yeah, it definitely could. That definitely could be it.
I was just too invested to notice anything else. See what was going to be said here between a father and a son.
See, this is why we need to minimize the use of CG, and I know they have painted a world of an outer space world of it's colorful and just not realistic in any way whatsoever, because a realistic outer space is extremely sterile and brown, and your yellow reds, and it's just not fun to look at. It's very boring.
Yeah.
As far as personality and style goes, and all these NASA photos that we get from outer space, especially of nebulas, are treated by artists, and none of them are accurate. And they're awesome looking, but they're non-representational.
Yeah, I mean,
other than form.
Yeah, kind of like when you see pictures of dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We didn't know what color they were. We didn't know really what they looked like besides their, skeletons.
Yeah,
their
the general
fossils.
shape.
And then, you flip through your chemistry book and you see, colorful electrons or whatever. Like, no, that stuff is kind of made up too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all that stuff on a microscopic scale looks identical. It's just doesn't even have any representation.
But you got to think about. Eye. Sorry, what did you say?
To the human eye, I should say.
Okay. But you got to think about how popular space. I don't know if it still is, but I know it was for a while, and everyone loved all the galaxy colors, and you want a galaxy room where you have all these really pretty purples and shimmeries and greens and slime, galaxy colored slime, I guess. Like that shit looks beautiful. So maybe that's not too bad. It's not too bad. It just looked bad here. Whatever they had going on here, it did look kind of
I think
off.
The more important thing to fix here is not actually the CG, maybe funny coming out of me, but the way they move on these ropes and wires and shit. They look that looks so bad, and we see that at its worst when everybody's fighting. It's so bad. I can't believe how bad it is. And we don't get a lot of that here. We get some, ropey on wire shit here, but it looks actually pretty decent, like when Peter and his dad are fighting and stuff, and it's very like traditional Superman kind of fight where they're like running into each other and everything, and it's kind of really, you don't see a lot of the back and forth, it's just like one direction, then we get a cut, and then we go into the other direction and stuff. It's not we don't feel like there's wires necessarily involved. Like when Drax was fighting Ronan in the first one,
mm-hmm.
It looked so fucking bad. I hated it, But it's such a funny moment because we got Drax, this random ass motherfucker, trying to take on Ronan. I don't know. I mean, Ronan's just a random ass baddie, but but it looks so bad, and it should have been funnier.
Yeah. I mean, that might have been a little bit there too, because maybe he was just uncomfortable. Maybe Yondu was like, oh, this thing's riding somewhere it shouldn't be, or
yeah,
maybe they had been up there for a while. Maybe.
Yeah.
And maybe we caught a little bit of that.
And then of course I hate it because there's not gonna be this moment in space. He's gonna die almost immediately when there's any kind of vacuum involved.
Yep.
He's gonna choke, I guess, first and foremost when the atmosphere becomes so thin. He's gonna start choking, and then if he has any air left in him, it's gonna come out and blow his fucking face off. And so we're not gonna have this tender moment anyways, which bothers me anyways. So it's annoying in that way too.
When did you say that? Was it the first movie or this movie?
Yeah,
You were like, no, they'd be exploding.
They would
by
be so
now.
pretty.
Yeah. Like, damn, let me watch my movie. I don't want to imagine them exploding.
Yeah, I don't want. Yeah, just the orifices, where air comes out. It's gonna come out and fucking destroy you.
That's even worse.
It's awesome. Yeah, no tender moments in space. And of course it's such a funny thing. I don't know why it's a pet peeve, I guess. Hearing sound in space too bothers me. Everything should be quiet if you're outside of a ship. And we hear explosions and whatnot, and it's just I don't know. I don't know what that is. I mean, am I too good for that? I just don't know. I hate hearing ships explode in space. That just doesn't fucking work like that.
Yeah, I think you know a little bit too much, or maybe that's something you like. That's something you enjoy. So you know your shit, you know your research, and it annoys you. I'm trying to think if there's anything equivalent for me for that. Like if there's a lab scene and they're not wearing gloves or something, that nobody else but a person who likes labs or has worked in them or whatever would notice. I wouldn't say I have, but...
Oh, you definitely have here and there. Absolutely.
Like maybe someone's doing an experiment. They're not under a fume hood. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, or they're just mixing random shit.
Yeah.
Just
like you just put food coloring in water and you're stirring it.
Looks so stupid. It does look so stupid. You might as well just have no one messing with this stuff and just have it all as props. Just don't fucking touch it. And then I think that kind of stuff is at its worst when it's less of a problem now, I think, than it used to be. But when people would get on devices, laptops, phones, and we would see this like weird fucking Walmart brand, kind of hacking thing or user interface, and it was just our operating system. It was all fucking just like some CW shit, It's just like, I can't do this. This takes me out of this. I don't care if it's on NCIS and it is on the CW. Make this look better. Just use a real fucking thing. You can't tell me you can't just get on Microsoft Windows, get on the home page of, like the page where you click on all your icons and shit. Just load that up. Why does it need to be fake?
Yeah.
That kind of shit. It's the authenticity needs to pop up a little more.
Yeah, I wonder how many people that were knowledgeable about space.
So many.
Was involved in this movie.
So many. Tim Gunn's probably knows all kinds of shit about space.
And somebody was probably like, well, they wouldn't make a noise, and they probably got fired. So
yeah, probably because they're union and they can't fucking, only consultants can say shit like that. I got some lousy ass consultant from
but the
Ohio State.
Shit would explode out of their eye sockets. What? No one wants to see that. Yeah, there's kids watching this.
They want to see it.
I'm just saying.
Kids want to see it.
Yeah, I don't know if kids want to see that. Maybe you, when you were a kid, you definitely wanted to see that.
Yeah, that would have been cool. I like this movie more than the first one, I think. I think it's more complete. I think it has some of the problems are worse. Some of the problems that exist in the first one and exist here are worse here. And I think even a serious ass problem like the dad explaining, ego explaining things. I think that's a mega filmmaking problem. I don't think that's a MacGuffin problem. I don't think that's a CG problem. These things that are not the biggest things, but that's like that. I think that can potentially be pretty killer to your film. But the crux of this film is so good that it really kind of elevates it to a different level of a Marvel film, at least. I think this is better. I think this is the best. I think this is the better of the two. I do.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe I'd have to spend more time thinking about it. But definitely in this one, I had a favorite character. And I don't know if I've ever had a favorite character and then that character fucking dies. Because Yondu was kind of okay in the beginning. I thought his little, like, what is that thing that he controls with the whistle?
The fin. Oh, the arrow.
The arrow, yeah. I thought that was kind of cool. That's a cool thing to have. And then he's in this one, and you start getting bits and pieces about him that make you like him, make you understand him as a person or whatever alien he's supposed to be. And then you have the interactions with him and Rocket, and then you understand that they're both, mistreated, misunderstood creatures, and you feel for him. And then I already love Rocket, so I'm extending that feel to this other guy. And then you find out about him protecting Peter, and you're like, oh shit, like this dude's a good dude. Oh my god. And then they're gonna go rescue him, and then he stays behind and tells Rocket, like, just go. And
then Groot tells him, welcome to the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes. And I guess I knew from when Ego said that about Yondu. Like, I felt the lump in my neck.
Oh no.
And then I guess I was just waiting for it. Cause I'm like, well, I wasn't waiting for him to fucking die. Let me say that. I was just waiting for the moment, the feel good, okay, now he's a guardian. Now him and Peter are gonna hug, and then they're gonna, I don't know, talk about his childhood. I don't know what you're gonna do here, but you're gonna do something. But no, you fucking kill him. And then the scene where he's dying was a little bit off, so it didn't completely destroy me like I thought it was going to.
Why was it off?
Because we just talked about that.
Oh, I was thinking the cremation scene.
No. The scene where they're
died.
in space,
where
I guess.
Died.
Where he's freezing, I guess. So after he freezes, then it starts coming a little bit, and then they cremate him. That's probably up there on my favorite parts, because that's so cool that they cremated him and threw him out in space. Like, that's awesome. If that was a choice, I'd probably pick that like 5th on my how to die or how to get, I don't know what the fuck you call that, burial practices. I don't know what to do with my body after I die. Like, that's pretty cool. That's top 5. And I think that was when I just started crying, and it just wouldn't stop. And that lump was still there, and it had to come out. And then you have all these people that show up for him, and I'm like, man, now I'm gonna cry on the podcast.
And they told you at the very beginning that they weren't coming. He wasn't getting a Ravager ending.
Yes, and he did. And I'm like,
did.
Fuck you guys. Like, okay, good, you showed up for him, but screw you guys.
Another little missed opportunity with them was ending it right then. They should have had no ending credits. They should have had no little silly things after the funeral, and just went black and then credits rolled. I wish that would have happened too. Ending on a sad note. You can't. It's just nothing better than ending a movie on a sad note.
No, that's too sad. You go watch another movie if you want that kind of sad, It's like when I watch a scary movie and then I need to watch a happy movie after it. Like, you just tore my heart out. I need that end credit scene where Drax gets hit in the throat with the arrow. I need that.
He's choking.
And he's choking.
And he's screaming. It was funny. That was actually one of the funniest scenes in all of the show. All the movie. That's funny.
I don't know. How did they end it before the end credits?
Like the extra ending? Or the one?
Like, Yondu dies. We have all these peeps visiting him in space.
That's how they end it. And then it's the scene where Drax gets stabbed. And then it's the scene where Yondu's old crew gets back together.
Okay.
That's the ending, and that's just weird.
It's not that. Well, Well, yeah, that one's weird, but maybe the big nerds get it.
The big nerds probably get it, yeah.
So they appreciate it. But no, not too sad. You can't have. I'd probably still be crying if they would have done that. So
I wish they would, man. I like that stuff.
Not here.
Or maybe they could have ended it with the credits rolling. And it was pictures of Peter and Yondu
when he was
little.
a kid. Oh no.
Although I don't think Yondu's a picture taker. I don't think there'd be any home pictures, some family pictures. One of the coolest, the absolute coolest bit of CG in this film, which was pretty cool. It's probably the coolest CG out of all of the MCU happened in this film. You know what I'm talking about?
When everyone's getting squished?
No.
Okay.
I guess it was probably around that same time, though. Is when Ego, he'd been blasted apart by Peter, and he was coming back, and his like whole nervous system and bones were all coming together.
Oh.
That CG looked almost stop motion. How it was all fuzzy and coming together and stuff. It looked really cool. It was totally unlike anything else that was happening in this movie.
Yeah, that was hella creepy.
I liked that. Thought that was really neat.
I liked it too.
Oh, I also wanted to say that Nebula, I think she sounds better in this. So I'll give her that. And I like that she opens up a little bit. You know, she's like, "Oh, I wanted a sister. You know, you just wanted the win. I wanted a sister." Like, okay, Nebula, I didn't know you were such a softie. That's fine. But man, the way her dialogue's better, I guess, too. She's not so fucking weird. She's still weird and has a stick up her ass, but she's, you know, I see why, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she's a little more developed in that way. That's fine. But the way she walks, what is wrong with her? Why does she walk like that?
She's a robot.
I mean, sort of, right? Not her whole body.
Almost.
But I mean, why does she walk like that? And why does she still look like this? Why do the hose in where Yondu was at with the yellow hose, the robot hose?
Oh, yeah.
Why did they look so good? And Nebula looks like this. They're robots. They shut down right in front of us.
Because they're true robots. Nebula has been fucking put back together by a maniac. So she's half whatever. Or she's probably like 80% robot and 20% whatever, you know.
Yeah,
race,
whatever
she is.
Yeah, or some kind of organism.
Which is why she sounds like that.
Don't get me wrong. I get the robotic kind of sounding thing she's got going on, but in the first one, man, she sounded so fucking dumb. Like, you would have to bring up two side-by-side voice of her. They're different. They are totally 100% different.
She sounded the same to me.
Oh my god, man. She did not sound the same to me. She sounded better here. She sounded like she was talking into a tin can or something. She sounded a little more what I expect, you know, Marvel to pull out for a robot-esque character. But so that's better, but the walking and then the face paint, just it looks so bad. I don't know why those yellow hose look better. They're there for like 25 seconds, you know.
Because they were made specifically to look good.
But Nebula's on the screen for so long. She has had a hard life. But I'm just looking at that metal piece on her eye. I'm just like, metal piece in quotes, right? It looks so bad. It looks so bad. I just can't stop looking at it. It's just like, I think it's wrinkling when she talks. Like, it's so... I can't look at it. That's what I was thinking when I saw those yellow girls. I was just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
That's hilarious.
They look better. Why do all the side pieces and all the extras in the background look better than Nebula? I don't know. Why does Taserface look better than Nebula? I can't get over it.
Yeah, I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt here, but at least she's better.
She is better
than in the first one.
She was better. Her except the walk. I don't know what that walk is. She walks like she walks like, I don't even know. It's like a cross between, I don't even know, dude. It's so weird. Her walk is weird. And then she walks, she has like that, I don't know, what do you want to call it? Like a militant kind of walk, I guess. It's kind of steppy and Nazi-esque. And then she's got this one walk at this one scene where she like sways her hips. I'm just like, what is going on? Why is she switching? Walk stupid like you were. Now you're doing this. It's like this is the first time you've done this walk. I don't like that. I don't like her performance. I don't like anything about Nebula. So hopefully in the third one she's better. Unless does she die throughout the rest of the MCU? I'm not sure.
I know something happens to her and Gamora with Thanos. I don't remember though. I don't remember.
Yeah, I just had to bring that up. Not a Nebula fan. Gamora's cool. Drax is the best. Drax laughs a lot in this film. It's funny. I like that.
Yeah, he does.
I like that.
Yeah. I think he's a little bit more I don't know how I want to put this. He's a little bit quieter, even though he fucking laughs out loud like a hyena. He's a little bit quieter here than he is in the first one. Like just his demeanor, I guess.
Yeah. Almost all of his interaction is with Mantis, which I like Mantis's character quite a bit because she's kind of his opposite in a weird way, and they have they knew that they may have designed that character for Drax really, and they complement each other in a funny way, and their dialogue is probably all their dialogue that they have between each other is probably my favorite part of the whole movie. All of them, especially when he calls her disgusting, and he starts gagging when he thinks that she wants to be intimate with him or whatever he said.
That's so funny.
That's probably the only time I really laughed in the movie. I love Batista.
Yeah, I probably laughed at every interaction he had with somebody. That's for sure.
That's good.
Especially in the beginning when Rocket stole those batteries. That I don't know why that
was great.
That was fucking great. And then
that was great.
He's showing Drax and he's like laughing.
Yeah.
It's like two fucking goofballs. And they shouldn't have stolen those batteries.
Yeah, I hate that. I guess I'm still hung up on the gold people a little bit. I like that one bit where she's like walking real slow on the carpet and like it's so stupid.
That was too stupid for me.
It's too stupid?
Yeah.
And I don't know.
It was a little too stupid for me.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the gold people.
Yeah.
It's kind of lousy that they just like their planes are all telecommunicated and they're not actually in there, and it's kind of lame. I don't know. I'm kind of hung up on them. I think they're in the third one too.
Oh.
So.
Okay.
So I'm not sure how that's gonna play out.
So no wonder they kept them in this one for so long because they wanted to bring them back.
Yeah. Hopefully they're not like the major bad guy. I don't know how they're gonna. They made them look so stupid in this movie. Intentionally so. They just kind of, I think, showed up a little too much. I don't know how they're going to spend them being the main bad guy, if there is a main bad guy in the next one. I assume there's got to be a main bad guy, because it's a Marvel movie, but I don't know. I think a Marvel movie could not... I think it could do without a main bad guy and be very good.
Like a side bad guy?
No,
like
yeah.
The first one?
No. Ronan was the main bad guy there. He was just...
What do you mean?
Like just as in if the bad guy maybe is your trauma or something. Nothing, no baddie. It's just more of a character study.
It sounds
human
like
condition problem.
The first Captain America and the first, well, no, not the first Iron Man.
Captain America, isn't it about that red dude?
The first Captain America? I think it's just his origin story, right?
Well, that's the first few minutes, and then he his like task is to kill that red dude, Hydra or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And he's just got like a mission to go kill this Nazi person. I think he's a Nazi, right? And like, isn't like a subsector of the Nazis, the Hydra people, which is cool, but it doesn't. I don't think it goes anywhere. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you just want another Joker.
Yeah, I just want another Joker. It doesn't need to be mental illness problems. It can just be, there's a lot of, like the Whale, there's some mental illness there, but sounds
like you just need another genre. You don't watch.
I want that genre in the MCU. I think it could have worked really well with Thor, I think, with him being real insecure and not feeling worthy. It doesn't need to be as dramatic as the Whale, but something 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 of a character study of Thor and him, kind of rediscovering what it means and what his purpose is in the world, and him overcoming his smallness. He's not this big dog. He's got all these earthlings that could beat the shit out of him. It's a problem for him.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I'd definitely watch it.
Yeah, man. Well, I think we're done here. Do you have anything else to say?
Yeah, I guess to wrap up, I just wanted to talk about a few more of my favorite parts or my favorite scenes. One of them was when it's just so stupid, but it was so funny. It just got me when Yondu was flying down, and then Peter was like, "You look like Mary Poppins."
That was funny.
And then he was like, "Was he cool?" Peter's like, "Yeah, he was cool."
He says, "I'm Mary Poppins, y'all."
Yeah, Mary Poppins, y'all. It's so funny.
That was funny. That was good stuff.
Because that could have been something where he's like, "No, Mary Poppins is, and then describes her, tells him about the umbrella." Okay, that wouldn't have been funny. But just the fact that he's like, "Yeah, he was cool," like that made it so funny.
But it's kind of funny though too, because I can see a random MCU character also saying that, but it just being especially stupid. But it fits Peter's character a little more because he's a man-child. There aren't man-children littered throughout the MCU. I don't think there are any other man-children.
That's true.
It fits him, but I could very easily see fucking Captain America saying that to Thor. It's like,
and that wouldn't have been funny
because they have no, self-respect.
Yeah, I could see Deadpool saying that.
I couldn't. It's a little too PG. We need something a little raunchy from him. A little more R.
He's also stupid.
Yeah, he is stupid.
Of all the
other characters, only Deadpool. I will say that. Yeah.
And then another one of my favorite scenes was when Baby Groot got the correct button.
You like that?
I love that. I love that so much. And he was about to press the wrong one too. He was like so close. And the whole time, I mean, they're in the next movies. There's a third movie. And I'm seeing this now when I definitely know they're alive.
But you're like,
so I know he's not gonna press the wrong button. But he was so stupid. He's a baby. He was regrown. He has to learn so much again about the world. So that was too cute. That was too stinking cute. And then I guess my last favorite bit was when Ego tells Peter that he put a brain tumor inside his mom.
That was kind of a funny cinematic moment too, because that's just something I don't think I've ever seen anywhere else in the MCU too. Yes. It's just this like zoom in, and they had this weird lens on the camera where it didn't even look like Chris Pratt. It was fucking weird, and it was cool. I like that too.
Because he was losing his shit. Too. Like, you did what?
It was almost very anime.
Huh.
Which is cool. It's cool.
And I don't know. It's like, that's fucked up, dude.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
And then he shoots him immediately.
Yes.
Good stuff. That's good stuff.
That was good.
Yeah, I will say collectively, Guardians 1 and 2 is probably the king of the MCU. I will say. I have a soft spot for Spider-Man, and the first Iron Man stands on its own in that it's a fun movie about country affairs and dealing weapons and stuff. But this is good stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
if the rest of the MCU was like this, I'd fucking watch it.
What'd you say?
If the rest of the MCU was like this, I'd watch it.
Oh. I mean, it's not that bad. It's not terrible. Some of them might be, especially the newer stuff. I haven't seen that, and I probably won't. But I like Iron Man, and I guess I've always been a big Iron Man fan. How could you not be with the first movie, really?
Yeah, no, I agree.
And so, he's a main guy. So there's a lot of movies with him. So I'm a bit partial to those. Especially, you have this billionaire who's a fucking genius and builds awesome looking suits.
It's cool.
It's so cool.
It is cool. But he loses some of his coolness as the movies move on, like we talked about.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, I hate, it's kind of maybe an ironic thing to say, but I think the Avengers movies just continue to do the whole franchise dirty. I think they might be among the worst. Even the Thanos movies, I just think Thanos is probably one of the more interesting villains. So he helps hold everyone afloat, and you have some cool moments, of course. Iron Man grabbing, not Iron Man, Captain America grabbing the hammer and everything. And
it's funny you say that because I think the Avenger movies are some of the better ones.
Yeah, I'd have to rewatch them to be sure.
Than the individual.
I'm mostly thinking of the first two Avengers, I guess, and then Age of Ultron, and how bad those are. I'd have to rewatch them. I haven't seen them since they came out.
I mean, me either. So maybe I'd have to rewatch them with my new.
Yeah, I've always had a soft spot for Thor too, because I just thought he'd always amount to more, But Thor 1 and 2, or I mean, I haven't seen them since they came out again, but like they just weren't good. And then Ragnarok sucks ass, and then apparently Love and Thunder is garbage too. It just sucks because it just sucks, I hate it. I wish all this was like, I just wish it was better. I wish it was all as good as Iron Man 1, but it was just different times when Iron Man 1 came out.
And it probably didn't help that it's
Ant-Man sucks.
Yeah, I guess I've only seen the first Ant-Man.
I don't know. Not a superhero fan, I guess. I gotta work really hard to find some things I like in it. Yeah, maybe we'll go through them all at some point. Would you like that?
Yes.
All right, well, thank you for watching this film with me. I enjoyed watching it with you.
You're welcome.
Did you enjoy it?
Mm-hmm.
Did you enjoy watching with me?
Yeah, that was fun.
It's good. Well, thank you guys for listening to this episode. We'll be back. The Philistines will be back. Take care, you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Philistines. Thanks for tuning in and joining us on our cinematic journey. We hope you enjoyed our discussion and gained some new insights and perspectives on the world of movies. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform, especially Patreon at patreon.com/Philistines, and follow us on social media for more film-related content. We love hearing from our listeners, so if you have any feedback, suggestions, movie recommendations, or book recommendations, please feel free to reach out to us. Until next time, keep watching and keep loving the magic of movies. This is the Philistines signing off.
Oh shit. Bad.